Yo, what's up everybody? It's Vegas. Back again. We just did the rear drive oil on my wife's 2019 Kodiak 450. We're getting ready for a trip, so now we're going to be doing the engine oil. Like I said before, and I keep saying it because it's pretty badass, is the Titan stand. I keep mentioning I had issues getting it, but once I got it and everything's put together, and once I solved the issues with the company, it's pretty damn nice. Keeps you off the ground, very easy to work on. So it's up there. I got all the skid plates off, I got the left side panels off, and we're going to now get into changing the engine oil. So I've had it running for about 5, maybe 7 minutes. So the oil should be pretty warm, ready to be drained. So what we're going to need to change the engine oil, obviously, is an oil bucket. Catch the old oil. The drain plug on this is a 21 millimeter socket. I've seen some other videos, people talking about 17 millimeter. It's possible, but this one for 2019 is 21 millimeters. You need a ratchet, obviously a torque wrench to torque it back to specs. You need the engine oil. I use the Yamaha lube, just their all-purpose oil. It's 1040. I buy it in a gallon jug because I buy so much of it because I change the engine oil after every trip we go on. So got that. I got the oil filters. I just buy these. I think they're called Neutron Safeguards. I buy them from Rocky Mountain ATV. I get them, I think they're like $3.99. So I buy a bunch of those at a time since I change the oil so much. I really don't think the oil filter matters that much when you're changing it so frequent like I do. So we'll get the engine oil out, pull out that drain plug, which is that 21 millimeter. And then once we put that back in, we're going to torque that down, and the torque specs for that says it's 20 foot-pounds. Or if you're going to do inch-pounds, you convert that, it's 240 inch-pounds or 27 newton-meters. The torque value for the oil filter, which is back in there, which is an absolutely horrible design for Yamaha. Really kills me when they do this thing. It's right at a 90. I mean, there's nothing you can do about getting oil on the side of your engine, but that's where they put it. They say to torque that thing down to 13 foot-pounds. I don't torque it down. I get it nice and snug, do a quarter of turn, and call it good. So the manual says if you're going to change the oil without changing the oil filter, it calls for 2.43 US quarts. With the filter, which we're going to do today, is at 2.5 US quarts. So since I buy all my engine oil in the gallon jugs, I pour it in through a ratio cup. So my ratio cup holds 500 cc's, so I convert that over the quarts over to cc's. So by doing that, it's like 2,403 cc's. So that's the way I do it. So we'll get into I'll put my drain bucket underneath it, and we'll get to draining the oil and get into it. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drain the oil here. Hopefully I can get in there with that bucket, but I got 21 millimeter socket. Let's see if I can break it loose without having to move the bucket. Got it broke. Go ahead and remove the drain plug. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do it around the camera and around this bucket. Make sure the washer comes off with it. So I buy all my stuff, whether it's the oil, the filters. I'm on the West Coast, obviously being in Las Vegas. I buy all my oil, I buy all the oil filters, everything I need for these quads through Rocky Mountain. They're up in Utah, not too far away. And usually if I place an order today, it'll be on my doorstep tomorrow. So I buy all the oil filter from them. The crush washers, I bought a kit from them that has all the crush washers for my Grizzly and this Kodiak. So I'll be replacing those. Actually, I'm not going to replace those. I replaced them last time I changed the oil on it. So after we get back from this trip, then and I'll change the oil again, then I'll replace the crush washer. One thing I didn't say, no, I did. I was talking about the converting this thing over to CC since I buy it in the gallon jug from Rocky, but it only makes sense when you got two machines and you change the oil so frequently. But to me, it's worth it. It's really inexpensive to buy filters, oil filters for $3.99. Get a couple gallons of oil, and I replace it after, like I said, after every trip we take. It's just a peace of mind. Gets me in the garage. Gets me drinking beer, listening to tunes, and if you take care of your machines, they'll take care of you. So, all right. So once this gets done draining, we'll put the drain bolt back in, and we'll torque it down to specs. Alright guys, I'm back. It's pretty much drained. I gotta apologize. I don't know what's going on with me, but I totally missed the first step of changing the oil, which is an ice cold beer. Ice cold Coors Light, to be exact. So, got it drained. I'm gonna see if I can put the drain plug back in with the bucket there. It's almost full because I've did the rear drive and the front differential and the motor oil on my Grizzlies, so it's pretty full. If I can't get my hand in there, then I'll move the bucket out, but see what we can do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move this bucket. Alright. Gotta drain that bucket so my neighbor's rose bushes are gonna get water tonight. Kidding. Alright, so drain bolt's in. Grab my torque wrench, we'll get this thing torqued down. So, just to rehash, it's 20 foot-pounds. Through everything I've been doing, I've had my inch-pound torque wrench out, so converted that over to 240 inch-pounds. And again, for those who don't know how to do that, you just take 20 times 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot, and that gives you your inch-pounds, or 27 newton meters. Thing torqued down. There it is, just double check. Alright, so we're torqued. Alright, let me go ahead and move the camera and we'll remove the oil filter. Alright guys, Getting this ready to pull the filter off. Totally forgot I'm gonna pull this little plastic piece off. It's just 3 little 8mm bolts. Just makes it a lot easier to get to the oil filter. They're different sizes, so just make sure this upper left and the bottom are the same length, but this far right one is a longer bolt. Yeah, these are the filters I get from Rocky Mountain, the Neutrons, and they come sealed, and I mean, you can't beat them for the price. So they're completely sealed up, keeps everything out of them. And since Yamaha, this whole design is fucking retarded. I don't care if it's a car or if it's a four-wheeler, having these oil filters at a 90-degree, it's just piss poor engineering. So I'm not going to load the oil filter up just because it's at an angle, so I'm just going to use fresh oil, get the seal, put some nice fresh oil around the O-ring there before I put it in. So go ahead and I'll do that once I get it out. But this thing just makes a mess. There's nothing you can do. I take my skid plates off. And I think you should do that every time you change your oil anyways, because when you drain the oil, you're going to get oil on the inside of your skid plates, and you're not going to be able to get all the oil out. It's just going to collect dirt and get nasty. So it takes literally a few minutes. So got those off, but taking this off, it's going to make a mess. All right. Alright guys, sorry about that. Battery died in the camera. So I already cracked it loose, and I use again, which I bought from Rocky Mountain ATV, was a K&L adjustable oil filter wrench, which is super nice to have, especially when you have multiple machines with different oil filter sizes. Only takes one, and this thing's completely adjustable. It just expands out. Super nice, very convenient. So all right, so like I said, I cracked it loose. Let's go ahead and make a mess. Thank Yamaha for this. My Grizzly, it's at least it's at a 90, but it's up front, and then when I pull it out, it at least I could put it into a bucket. This just runs down the side of the engine. So, not too bad. Just wipe this down. Make sure you push all the dirt around the mating surface away from the engine. We'll push it into it. Not going to avoid getting oil on it, but it wasn't that bad. Alright, grab the new filter, some fresh oil. Like I mentioned earlier, Yamaha does say to torque it down to 13 foot-pounds, but I don't do that. Get some fresh oil on the O-ring there. Get it started. So I go snug in just about a quarter of a turn, just like you do in your car. And that is good to go. All right, we'll be adding oil here in no time. Okay, we're ready to add oil. Since we changed the oil filter, it calls for 2.54 US quarts. Since I got the gallon jug, I'll be converting that to cc's. So it's 2,403, 2,404 cc's. My ratio cup does 500 cc's at a time. So I'll start filling that up and get it filled up. One thing you gotta make sure when you take out the oil dipstick, there's a O-ring on the inside, and every time I take that thing out, it sticks to the mating surface of the filler right there. So just make sure be aware of that it doesn't drop off or drop down below it, and you didn't catch that. So there's that O-ring. So here's the first 500 cc's. Liquid gold. There's 500. Number 2, which will give us 1,000 cc's. This thing actually holds more oil than my Grizzly 700. Number 3, so that'll give us 1,500. Number 4. So this will be 2,000 cc's. So it calls for 2404. I'm going to put 2400 in, start it up, let it run for a few minutes, turn it off. I'll check the oil in about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, let the oil settle, see what I need to add. So now I need 400. Alright, 400 cc's. This is 2400. Yeah, we're heading up in a few days up into Utah, the Duck Creek Village, ride some trails up there. And then after that, we got a couple of trips planned out to the Paiute trails. And for those that live on the West Coast or Central, if you haven't rode the Paiute trails, you're missing out. Thousands of miles of marked ATV trails. Takes you up to over 10,000 feet above elevation. You'll go from being in camp in shorts and flip-flops on a ride where you can get some snow. It's awesome up there. So we got a couple of trips planned out this summer. Alright. I got the O-ring on that, gonna put that back in. We'll start it up, let it run for a few minutes, and then check it. Add what we need to, if we even have to. Alright. Alright, got it running. All I'm doing now, besides drinking beer and smoking a cigar, is making sure I got no oil leaks at all. The oil filter's sealed, so nothing's leaking from there, nothing's leaking from the drain bolt. So let it run for another minute or two, and turn it off, and drink another beer, give it about 10 minutes, and we'll check the oil up. Okay, alright, I had it running for a few minutes, probably 4 or 5 minutes. Turned it off, let it settle, let the oil settle for probably, I don't know, 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. Then check the oil, and it's perfect. Don't need to add any oil. So, and just a reminder, when you check the oil on the Kodiak, pull the dipstick out, wipe it clean, and then when you put it back in, do not thread it in. Just lay it right on top of the threads like that, pull it out, and check it on the dipstick. If you thread it in, you're going to get a wrong reading. So just set it in on top of it. Do not thread it in. So, all right, well, that's it for this. I'll probably do the front differential after this, but thanks for watching. Any questions, just leave them below. And again, have fun, ride safe, and live life, boys.